Welcome to Coping with Kate. This is your host, Marie. You know what I want to talk about today? Men. You know what I think is fucking hilarious? When they want to like all my posts on TikTok, unfollow me, and then follow me again to let me know, hey, I'm following you. Ma'am, just to let you know, hey, I'm following you. And against my better judgment, I followed him back. I knew he was following me, and I didn't want to follow him. Because why? I don't like him. But I followed him back because I'm a nice person. Polite society and bullshit. I was obsessing about obsession. I wanted to start talking about horror, why this movie in particular was good for horror. Him and his brother have a podcast. I was on the podcast for a little while, but I'm no longer on the podcast. So my ADHD was in full effect and I was obsessing about obsession. I see him liking all these things on my TikTok and following me and unfollowing me. I was like, oh, you know what? He's actually kind of entertaining on the surface level. And if we make these 1-minute TikTok horror movie reviews, that would be okay. I can't stand to work with him for more than fucking 5 minutes. That should be okay, right? Well, guess what? He didn't message me back. Okay, that's no big deal. No response is a response. I'm fine with that. Well, and about, a week or two goes by. His response was, if you want to make a review for Obsession for the podcast, I'm okay with that. Oh my God, I'm so lucky. Thank you for the opportunity. I was just hoping and wishing and shitting my pants sitting here waiting for you to ask me to go back on your fucking podcast. And then it all came flooding back. Why? How we got here. Why I'm not on that podcast anymore. One day, we were supposed to be doing our regular scheduled programming. I logged in and the link that I had to the Zoom meeting was no longer valid, even though it had been valid for 7 months at that point. And what had been going on was the ICE raids in LA. It was about a year ago. And what did this motherfucker say? The two brothers, this is like a culmination of things that they said together. Why can't they just come here legally? That was one of the things they said. They're Canadian, by the way. And nothing that against Canadians. My dad is Canadian. I work with a bunch of Mexicans and I don't see them doing anything. There was this gem right here. I don't like female rap because it's not relatable to me. Their favorite rapper is Eminem. The only thing that they have in common with Eminem is that they're white men. That's it. They ain't from no trailer park. They ain't from the hood. They ain't got no crazy baby moms or addictions or crazy moms or any fucked up like party stories. Maybe they have mom spaghetti. I'm not sure. I didn't ask them. Then one time straight up told me I was ugly. And he wasn't joking. Girl, you know you bitch ain't ugly. Look at this shit. 4 years old. Oh, look at me. No gray hairs. A few crow's feet. Back rolls. Bitch, you could never. Even if he was joking, that's not even a funny joke. There was a few other people on the podcast that I actually did like. They were cool. I like them. I went to log in for the regular scheduled programming and the link was invalid. I messaged them and said, what was that? They said they rescheduled the podcast for an earlier time because they wanted to go to the movies. They didn't say anything about the invalid link. And they didn't even bother to tell me that they were going to reschedule the podcast time. So I told them if they didn't want me on the podcast, fine. I just won't come back. I know when I'm not wanted. And they never responded. They didn't acknowledge the invalid link. They never let me know that the time for the podcast had changed. And they never acknowledged the fact that they didn't want me there. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions. No response is a response. I was pretty pissed off, but I was like, you know what? This is okay because these people suck. These two brothers. I'm not going to say that I didn't say some pretty terrible things over the course of my career with them. I unfortunately said a lot of harmful things. I even thought while being on the podcast, even being on the podcast is probably harmful. But I also wanted to hopefully maybe try to learn these motherfuckers a thing or two. That's actually a lot more difficult to do than people might think. When you put yourself out onto a platform that it's not necessarily receptive and it's a lot more closed-minded, like you got to be in an equal space. You got to be in an equal space if you want to educate people. If you put yourself into the lion's den, bro, you're going to make not just yourself, like the people who you are supposed to be an ally to. I've also learned that I'm not really good at explaining things. I would probably do more damage trying to explain the positions of other people rather than doing them any justice. But I get my words mixed up a lot. I speak with conviction and fun and energy, but I'm also chaotic, can be misunderstood pretty easily. There's one way that I can cause damage, and the other is that I thought I was woke, but I could have been woker. I'm trying to unpack a lot of things in terms of my isms and my obias. I'm sorry. There's no excuses for it. And I'm not going to say buts or howevers because there aren't any. That's just straight up like, I can do better and I want to do better. Even though I wish it didn't happen that way, this was a learning lesson for sure. The audacity of this guy. In September, when Charlie Kirk was murdered, I had made a comment that a lot of people online don't actually know what Charlie Kirk stands for because he didn't actually mean the things that he said. Yes, he did, but no, he didn't. The brother came on my post to, I don't know, I could not be bothered to read what he said. I was like, oh, weren't you the one that ghosted me 2 or 3 months ago? Couldn't even be bothered to tell me you didn't want me to do the podcast anymore, just rescinded the invitation for the link, and now you want to come on my Facebook and start making comments? I had to laugh. Didn't waste my fucking time, bro. Comment said, you again? I forgot about all of that. My bad. I need to be a better ally for sure. I totally forgot. I had a senior moment. I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. I need to do better. I really am. I really do. There's no ifs and ors about it. I fucked up right there. I really did. He could have just not responded, right? Like going out of his way to say, you can make a review for our podcast. What the fuck, motherfucker? Just don't respond. That's that energy, right? Isn't that giving that kind of energy? 15-year-old boy. Oh, also, they bought me this mic. It's not even plugged in. I wasn't gonna unfollow him because I just didn't really feel like going on his page. That sounds really childish, right? Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to go to his page. But like, no, I just couldn't be bothered to go onto his page. I don't really look at other people's shit. It gives me anxiety. But his video popped up and it generates, here's your friends' page. Ooh, I don't wanna see that. Ew. So yeah, I ended up deleting him as a friend right when I was making this video. I wasn't even following him to begin with. I haven't looked at any of his stuff. I've not been to his page. I have not looked at any of his fucking videos. And my profile is open where you can see if I've looked at your profile. The running joke on the podcast was I had a dream about him. As editing Marie. The dream that I had about him was not sexual. He was actually being really cute and gentlemanly. And I knew it was a dream because of how nice he was being. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure we've all had a dream about someone that we didn't actually want to have. An involuntary dream about someone we don't want to have a dream about. So I had a little bit of a crush on him after that dream. But I never took it seriously. Why? Because I don't take him seriously. Did Chat GPT tell him to do that? What's your opinion? What goes through someone's mind to have that kind of response? And he'll allow it. He'll allow it if I make a response. I guarantee, even if I made that review for their show, they wouldn't even use it. When we had that conversation about the ICE raid in LA last year, I was going off on him about how he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, how he didn't know what the process was everyone goes through to get legalized in the States. He doesn't know because he hasn't gone through the process. Yes, he has because he's from Canada, but it's a different process from different countries. And they cut all of that out. And what was their excuse? It was just too long. Well, that was chaotic for sure. That was hard to make. I had to make sure that I got what I wanted to say out there. After that podcast, I did feel like a fucking asshole. Not because of them. They didn't make me feel like an asshole. I was the ass because I was on that podcast with assholes. I chose to do that. That was my own doing. And I knew that they were assholes. I didn't know that they were that bad. Trump being the president has really divided us, and you really see who is who. Or maybe I just didn't know because of... But I always did want to apologize for being on there. And the things that I said. Either things that I did say, the microaggressions that I didn't know, or just generally just being on that podcast. Even if I thought I was being helpful. I always wanted to say sorry about that. So, this is Coping with Cake with your host, Marie.